Hey guys, welcome back into the channel. Back into my Big Brother Season 2 reviews. We are now on to episode 25 of the review series, and let me just fucking start out by telling you what an amazing episode of Big Brother. This was the episode, in my opinion, where if you were watching the show at the time, you really started to think, man, this show has legs. This show is going to be amazing. It is going to be a hit. It's going to pick up right where Survivor left off. Obviously, the Survivor Season 1 had aired just a year prior and was a major hit here in America. And I think in this episode, with this HOH competition, you really got the sense that Big Brother was going to follow in Survivor's shoes. The HOH competition to begin the episode, you have Monica, Nicole, and Will all on the bed. They all have to hold on to their key, and the last person to let go of their key and take their hand off would win HOH. This was a competition where you really, I think, in my eyes, I mean, you had some good glimpses of Dr. Will. You've had some really good moments in the diary room, some funny moments. But this was the first moment where it's like, holy shit, man. He's like, it's like you ultimately look at what Big Brother has become in years prior, or excuse me, not years prior, the years after what Big Brother has ultimately become. And you look into this first season and you see that Dr. Will seemed to understand the rules of Big Brother before there was rules. None of these people playing this game really understand the game yet. And that's understandable, and I think that's not a big surprise given the fact that this was the first season of this version of Big Brother. But Will somehow seems to understand these rules before there are any, and he's just going to fucking work it. And that's what you have here in this early season. Again, he's a Big Brother robot, and this was probably, I would say for 100% certain, it is my favorite moment of Season 2. It's definitely my favorite Dr. Will moment of Season 2. And it's the moment where they're in that HOH competition. To start off, first of all, you got the three sitting there. They're on the fucking thing for, I don't know, it had to be a fucking hour or something. Ultimately, you get the banner planes that are a common theme in the early seasons. Flies over the house. And it's apparently from Jeff, Nicole's husband. And basically it's a banner saying that he feels betrayed and hurt because of what happened in the hot tub the night prior between Nicole and Will, which we did not see. But judging from the way the house gets react, nothing did happen. So it just sounded like it was some bullshit, online rumors that apparently Jeff, her husband, believed, whatever. Who gives a shit? But ultimately, it's funny because it pisses Nicole off. She's really starting to lose it. And, I thought it was funny how you had Hardy, saying, it's bullshit. I was there. Nothing happened. You have Monica sitting there saying, nothing happened, Jeff. She loves you. You have Will just sitting there not saying nothing. Like, Will's not saying, oh, no, we didn't do anything. Nothing happened. He just kind of sits there in silence, at least from what they show. And I thought that was funny that Will does not jump to her defense. As Will said numerous times, and I kind of agree, I think she has feelings for him. Now, maybe they didn't do anything in the hot tub, but I do think she has feelings for him. So she's upset, obviously, about the banner and whatnot. Throws her out of her game a little bit. Has her mind somewhat, somewhere other than that competition, which I think is definitely to Will and Monica's benefit. But then we have a really good moment where you have all three of them laying there. It's getting, it's nighttime. It's getting cold. And Nicole and Will both are on they have a blanket over them. And Will's moving around constantly throughout the competition, which Hardy makes a comment about, saying how Nicole had been kind of positioned in a bad spot on the bed just due to Will moving all over the fucking place. And ultimately what ends up happening is Will pulls the blanket, wants more of it to be on him. He says he's cold. So he pulls more of the blanket on himself, which in turn yanks some of it off Nicole, which, she freaks out right away and tries to grab she doesn't like the fact that he's taking her blanket. So she reaches up to try to take the blanket. And oh fuck. Nicole pulls her hand off the key. What a dumbass move. And Nicole is sitting there like, oh shit. And you could see her face when she pulls her hand off, and she's like, oh shit. And you see Will, right? They're friends, right? They're supposed to get along. What does Will immediately do? He looks at her straight in the face and says, hey, I saw your hand come off. And he says it like 2 or 3 times. Just make fucking sure Big Brother saw it. And throws her under the bus. He rats her out. Not that it really mattered. Big Brother's not going to miss that anyways. But the fact, it shows right there that Will has been playing. It's just another example of Will playing her all along. You can't prove that he's moving around on the bed, and you can't prove that pulling that bed sheet was necessarily to get her to take her hand off the key. But I gotta believe Will is a smart fucking guy, And I wish they would have had a dire, if it was strategy, the way he was moving around and pulling the bed covers and stuff. I wish if it was strategy, they would have shown him like laughing in the diary room. I really wish we would have gotten that. Honestly, I do think it was strategy. I mean, he may not have known whether it was going to ultimately work or not, but I gotta believe it was. It's Dr. fucking Will. So whether it was strategy or not, I'm gonna tell myself it was because it fits my narrative of Dr. Will is the greatest of all time or one of the greatest of all time. So that was great. And then the best part of the whole thing is, okay, so she gets off. She's fucking losing it. She's pissed off. Not only did she lose the competition, she now knows her back's up against the wall. Before the competition, she all but said she would die to win this competition. So she loses it. She ultimately is going to blame Will for losing it. And then she's got all this stuff going on with her husband. So she's just absolutely losing her mind. And you have Will and Monica sitting on the bed. And Will smiles right after she gets off and looks, basically says to Monica and says, like, look, one of them, either Hardy or Nicole, one of them are going home, Manya. You know, and he immediately, the second she gets off the bed, Monica's his best friend now. And Monica takes to it. Just as everyone else has. You saw it when Kent was HOH. You saw it with his relationship with Hardy. How when he's needed to get close to Hardy, he's been able to do so. I think he could have pulled it off with Bunky. You've seen it all season with Nicole. You know, when Will needs you to like him, he's able to get you to like him. And that's an unbelievable skill that he has that really no one else in the house has had. But the great part is basically, you have him and Monica sitting in the bed. They sit there for a while. Will's just kind of making conversation, getting close to her. And again, they don't really show it or give you 100% clarification. But I almost feel like Will knew he wasn't going to win that competition. But he knew, instead of just jumping immediately off, let's create a little bit of a bond with Monica while we sit here on this bed for the next hour. Let's create some common ground. Let's kind of just talk. And he knows by sitting there and talking to her, he's going to be able to build a relationship with her, which once he gets off the bed is going to help him when she makes her nominations. I don't believe there was ever a time where Will really thought he was going to beat Monica and win that competition. I really don't. Ultimately, Hardy offers the house guests, those two, a mystery prize. If they take off their hand off the wheel or off the key, they could get something really good or really bad. Will says, immediately after Hardy finishes that, he's like, you know what? I came in this house to gamble. Takes his fucking hand off, hits the bell to win the prize. And what does he get? He gets a goddamn fucking big thing. It's like a big peanut butter jar that was used as a prop in a previous food competition. Obviously, he's not happy. He got a shit prize. But it's funny because, he plays around, makes the best of the peanut butter jar. He actually fucking destroys it within 10 minutes. But the reaction of Hardy and Nicole and the realization comes to Hardy that, like, fuck, I made a mistake last week and all the weeks prior that I was HOH. Excuse me. But they are absolutely pissed at Will. They're pissed because, again, as I've mentioned in the previous reviews, what did Hardy and Will agree to? Well, Hardy made Will agree that if he won HOH next week, meaning this week, that he would not nominate both of them together. And at the time, as soon as you hear Hardy say that, you're thinking to yourself, Will throws every competition. Will has never won a competition. So he's not going to an HOH. So this deal means absolutely fucking nothing. And ultimately what ends up happening, like I said, he throws the competition. He goes for the prize. Ultimately, fucking the deal he had with Hardy and with Nicole. They're left pissed. They're left just absolutely bitter towards Will. Unbelievable fucking television. And Will, the thing I love about it, and the reason I found that competition to be such a defining moment of the show, is you really saw the strategy. And the strategy is, you have Will sitting there with Monica. First of all, I don't think he would have beaten her in that competition. But even, let's say he maybe could have, because you never fucking know. Maybe she would have had to really piss at some point. But the fact of the matter is, Will knew he didn't need to win this competition. If you guys can recall, in my previous reviews, I talked about, you got a guy like Boogie winning a competition when he didn't need to. You had a girl like Krista winning a competition when she didn't need to. And ultimately, it was to the demise of both of those house guests. Will is not a guy, first of all, he doesn't win competitions, but he's definitely never going to win one when he doesn't need to. That's one of the biggest mistakes people do in Big Brother. If you don't need to win a competition, don't fucking win it. It does not help you. It creates enemies. It creates drama. It puts you at the center of the drama when there is absolutely no reason to put yourself in that position. Will knows when it comes down to him and Monica has no fucking choice if she wins this HOH but to nominate Hardy and Nicole. If nothing else, for the fact that they're a power of two, Nicole has previously nominated her. Will just it shows the strategy that Will seems to understand that others don't. I don't need to win this competition. Monica, it doesn't matter. I can call her a dumb bitch right after this competition's over. If she wants to win the money, she can't nominate me. He knows that. If she nominates Will, and Will would go home in that situation because Hardy or Nicole would have the vote and would obviously vote Will out. And then ultimately you'd go to the final three, and it'd be Monica, who, had just won the previous HOH, going up against the power of two. So you'd be outnumbered 2-1 in the final three. No one's going to want to put themselves in that position. So again, Will knew she had no choice. And when he pulls that his hand off that key, it's like him saying, you know what, Monica, I don't need to win. You want to fucking piss somebody off? Go right ahead. Ultimately, I know what you have to do, because the only thing you can do is to keep me safe. And I just thought the strategy shown and the understanding of the game at such an early point in the show's history is unbelievable in that competition from Will. Great moment for the show. Then we have Nicole in the diary room just absolutely losing her fucking mind. It's sour grapes, 100%. And I like Nicole, but this is the episode where she got a little annoying. There's a segment, though, that's funny where Will's just trying to take a little nappy nap. And she goes in and she's bitching at him saying, oh, yeah, I hope you're proud of yourself. You played us like a fucking violin. She goes out of the room and it shows Will, like, turning the lights up, just kind of smiling like, yeah, you dumbass. I played you all season. You're just now catching on. But then Nicole goes out, has a little innocent, a little innocent smoke break. And she comes back in just steaming, whips the lights on, gets in his bed, takes his pillow away. She's just in his face, asking him, do you think you're smarter than me? Why do you feel like you can just treat me like shit and all this? And it's just, Will has no response. He's just kind of sitting there like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to tell you. But then ultimately it's funny because she storms out of the room again. Will follows her, though, and he goes outside, and he does in true Dr. Will fashion. He's just like, it's like the way he says what he's about to say is so hilarious, too, because it's like he's reading it off a book, and he's just like, Nicole, you're the best person in the world. You treated me so good this season. I owe everything to you. Everything good that's happened to me is because of you. Everything that's bad that's happened to you is because of me. He's just like reading this list of things, and it's like Nicole's reaction. Now, keep in mind, she's been pissed at him basically the whole episode. She was literally steaming at him 5 seconds ago, and she looks puzzled. Like her face, she's looking at him, and she's like, you're fucking not human. You're like a fucking robot, which I've been telling you, he is. But just, it's funny the way he reads it, too, because it does come across to me as insincere and not genuine. But I think when he's done talking, yeah, she doesn't completely buy it. She knows he's full of shit. But there's a part of her that's not as pissed off as she was before he said all those things. So if that was the goal of his, it served its purpose. So that was, I thought, really funny. Just the facial reactions from Nicole. Then we had the nomination ceremony ultimately where Monica does do the only thing she could do, and she nominates Hardy and Nicole. She basically just says straight up, like, look, you guys are a power of two. You've been throwing in all of our fucking faces for weeks. You nominated me, Nicole. I had no choice but to put you two up on the block. And Will's in the diary room like, it's so fucking ironic that, I've been on the block 3, 4, 500, fucking 6,000 times, this season. Particularly by Hardy, who's been nominated on 3 separate occasions. And now I get the choice of sending either one of your dumbasses home. And Will's like, basically in the diary room, like laying out a strategy. He understands that, look, they both have no choice. Yeah, they're pissing me right now, but they both have no choice but to kiss my ass for the remainder of the season, because I can vote out whoever the fuck I want. And, I think, obviously the clear-cut person you would think he would evict would be Hardy, but he says it straight up too. He's like, Nicole has no choice but to be nice to me now. She's pissed right now, but coming in tomorrow, throughout the rest of the week, she has to be nice to me, or I'll send her ass home. And no matter what she says about, oh, I want to leave and I miss my husband and I want to go, go home and see my husband, he knows she's not going fucking anywhere. But that was just, and this was an unbelievable episode. Again, it was, I think, the episode where you really saw that this show had legs to stand on. The strategy that Dr. Will shows when it's seemingly a new game to everybody. No one's ever played it before. No one's ever seen it before. And he understands the rules when the rules haven't been developed yet. And I think that's so incredibly awesome. And I thought it was funny at the end where he says, like, His new best friend is Monica. And the way he says it is like, it's hilarious because throughout the season, he's been able to make friends no matter how he's treated them prior. Whenever he's needed to make a friend with somebody, he's been able to use his charm, his charisma, and his just charming personality in general to his benefit. And he does it again here with Monica because he has like a little bit of a twinkle in his eye when he says, that line about her being his new best friend. And then you got the end of the episode. One of my favorite moments is the realization from Hardy, who's been an arrogant bully for weeks now, fake as fuck. And he finally just, 100% comes to him like, man, I made a mistake, particularly last week evicting Bunky instead of evicting Will. Just like the idea that they thought Bunky was the bigger threat. It's like, man, these guys did not understand the game, nor did they understand what kind of a fucking player they were in the house with. They had no idea. But ultimately, guys, a great episode 25. An unbelievable moment in that HOH competition. Dumbass Hardy, or seemingly out of nowhere, annoying-ass Nicole is going to be leaving. Will's into the final 3. He's got the sole power to evict whatever person he wants to evict. I anticipated a great, episode, 26, 27, although I saw something coming up in episode 26 that I don't think is going to be great, but we'll get to that in my episode 26 review. But ultimately, 27, 28, the eviction coming up. It's going to be unbelievable television. Will at his finest. This was a great moment here in episode 25 from Will. One of his most memorable moments in the history of Big Brother for him as an individual. And just a great episode all in all. Let me know what you guys think. Comment, like, subscribe. And I'll be back for my episode 26 review shortly, guys. Thanks. I'm out. And again, go fucking Dr. Will, baby.